board and I don't have anything else to do, we're gonna do this. All my stuff's packed up. I don't have anything to do in the shop. Right. I'm waiting on scope range to get here anyway. So let's do today a head-to-head comparison of the MDT XRS and field stock. Apples to apples comparison. So this is what I do with myself when everything is packed up. Oh, too low. Maybe right there. Okay. Anyways, direct head-to-head comparison of the MDT and XRS chassis, because that's what I have available right now. Everything else is packed up and I gotta do something with myself. So let's clear these lugs out. Boom. Boom. Put these off to the side over here. These are two of the best offerings I think out there right now for precision stocks or chassis for common use, for everyday use, for even for precision, like if you're playing the game, the precision rifle game, or just hunting, you know, regular old field stock or precision rifle type of stuff. These two stocks from MDT represent, I think, probably the best in the category for what they are. They're a little different though. There's a little bit of difference in the stocks. So, okay, first let's get the painfully obvious things out of the way. Forearm width. The field stock is approximately 1 5/8 inches wide, whereas the XRS is approximately 2 1/8 inches wide. And I don't care what anybody says, that's not 7 inches, guys. The buttstock shape, slightly different. Same general overall style, but the XRS is thicker. This is thinner. They both have the kind of bag rider swoop. One is a little more pronounced on the XRS than it is on the field stock. Moving forward, we have the magazine well end area. This is a little bit different here, this shape right here. See that? This is a little more slimmed down, svelte on the field stock, whereas the XRS, it's a little more stylish, a little more flashy, a little more bling on that thing. Trigger guards also just a little bit difference there. This one's kind of got a flared little base here and a little cut out there, and it's kind of a little more stylish. It just seems like overall the XRS is just a little more stylized, a little more modernized, and just a little more, you know, got a little more flash to it. Whereas the field stock, simple, functional, elegant, uncomplicated. One of the main differences you're going to find is price. Okay, this one, the XRS is retailing for about $550 right now, and the field stock is going for about $299, so $300 and $550. So you have about a $250 difference between the types of stock. What do you get for that difference though? Start with the field stock. The field stock is a polymer over aluminum chassis stock, so the aluminum chassis here and here, with polymer pretty much everywhere else, maybe some metal internals. You have adjustable length of pull, adjustable cheek piece, also adjustable length of pull, adjustable cheek piece. You do not have an adjustable grip on this that I can tell so far, or that I know of so far. It's just a kind of a standard grip. It is kind of, it's almost a perfect vertical grip, so it kind of has that appeal to it of a straight up and down vertical grip that is common in precision rifle shooting and discipline. So it's not as swept back as a Monte Carlo or those old school type of stocks, but the stock overall still has that traditional stock feel to it, just a little more modernized. But this vertical grip is a big huge bonus, and it's built into the stock. Similar to the XRS, you also have the vertical grip right here, but you have an option. This one actually has an option for a more swept grip, as you might find on a more traditional stock. So that's one point of similarity between the two, along with the length of pull and comb height adjustment. The real difference starts to crop up when you get inside these bad boys. The shape on the field stock is a little bit different so far as barricade stop up front of the mag well here. Okay, so that's a little bit different. The mag release, a little bit different there too. This one has kind of wings on the side that pop out. This is just more of a straight stick on the field stock. But the real biggest difference I've noticed so far is in the actual handguard. So if you take a look at the XRS here, you actually have an aluminum rail that runs the full length of the handguard, the fore end, and it's a little bit wider. So it's actually a little bit wider with a little bit bigger barrel channel. So you can accommodate a slightly larger barrel channel. Whereas on the field stock, it's a more simplified polymer with a ribbed and ridged polymer insert inside of it that helps it to maintain some of that rigidity. So that's a simplification on the field stock where it is simpler than the XRS, hence less price, and you have less adjustability or less meat there, so far as there's not as much aluminum, less materials that are costly. Both of them highlight M-LOK slots on the front, so they have M-LOK adjustment slots all the way around, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position. So you got that going for both of them. So they're real similar in that aspect. Bigger differences, you'll notice in the back end on the stock itself, this is a more simplified, the field stock has a more simplified profile. It doesn't have, you know, double knobs like this does on the buttstock. The XRS has double knobs on the buttstock, so you may get a little more positive purchase there, maybe a little sturdier. QD mount on the back of the buttstock here for the XRS. You do not get a QD mount here, so that's one of the main differences. Polymer overmolded over an aluminum frame. So I believe these panels, they just attach on the XRS, they just attach with a couple Allen bolts, so you can pull those panels off, and you'll find your aluminum underneath that all the way out. And I do believe, as far as I could tell, and from what I could see inside the handle here, the aluminum part of the frame here goes down into the handle, so you have a little bit more rigidity back there. On the on the field stock, I don't actually know, I didn't take that apart, so I'm not sure if the aluminum actually extends all the way down in there. I might take this apart one day just for out of curiosity to see how far the framework goes down in here for that. So I'm not 100% certain on that one. I would assume it does. I would assume there is a bit of aluminum here. I haven't pulled up the spec sheets on them yet. I don't know if I even can find them, but I would assume there's a little bit of aluminum down in that bad boy right there. Comparing them apples to apples for accuracy, it's almost impossible to do unless I were to get an XRS stock and a field stock for the same action, and then shoot it, swap it out, and shoot it. May do that in the future. Pick up an extra XRS for the 700 style action, because I do have a couple of these. Let's see if we're still on. Yep, still on. On it too. Another major bonus, both of them are AICS magazine compatible, so they take AICS magazines. The sticking point on the XRS with the Howa specifically, this is an AICS metal magazine from MDT, the 5-rounder. It won't lock in easy. It takes a little bit of force to get it in there. I actually had to file some of the magazine off the back. I had to file down the back lip here and the front lip there of the magazine, because they were contacting the bottom of the action on the Howa. They're actually contacting it and preventing it from going into battery. And it does say specifically, and I just found this on MDT's website, and thank you MDT for doing that. That is excellent. Magazine compatibility. The AICS magazine compatible Howa and Weatherby use only polymer mags. Alright, so it's a known issue, it's an addressed issue, and it's a tolerance issue that I would guess has to do largely with the shape of the base of the action on the Howa and Weatherby. So MDT has already addressed that. Thank you MDT for putting that disclaimer up on the website, and I wish I had noticed that earlier, or I would not even have bothered to try with the metal magazines. But fortunately, I love the polymer magazines. They work really, really well. And for this type of system, running in any type of scenario you would need to run it, say competition or in the field or whatever, the polymer magazines are gonna work just fine. I'm a big fan of polymer. I like metal when I can get it, and I kind of like the dependability and reliability of metal, but polymer works just fine. Go wrong with polymer, they're cheaper too, so that's a bonus. All the polymer magazines from MDT and from Magpul would go into battery very easily. They slip right in there. They were right in spec. They popped out nice and easy, and they fed really, really well. Okay, now this magazine, this specific one, the Magpul magazine in the field stock on a Remington 700 action, fit really well. Goes into battery, everything's good there, but it would not feed. So that has to do more with the action than it does the stock. Those are quirks of the action and stock combination. So a little bit of frustration there, but something that can be worked out. It's just frustrating. All right, pounds for pennies. The XRS, sorry, the MDT field stock, they have it listed for a max barrel diameter of 1.25, 1.25, overall length of 32.2 inches, cheek riser height adjustments of 1.370, made with a 6061 aluminum core and overmolded polymer, and weighing in at 3.1 pounds. The length of pull adjustment is 1 inch via 1/4 inch spacers, and can go from 13.5 inches length to pull to 14.5 inches length to pull. Now myself, I'm kind of a 13 to 12.5 to 13 inch length to pull kind of guy, because I got T-Rex arms, but I did find from the factory, as these both are sitting, they came in at about, the XRS came in at about 13 1/8, and the field stock came in at about 13 3/4, and both of them have nice butt pads on the back, so they were both right about an acceptable length of pull for me personally as a user, so I didn't have to swap anything. Specs on the XRS chassis, let's compare it. Starts at about 3.9 pounds, so you're looking at almost a full pound more of weight with the XRS chassis, and that it's more aluminum, more metal, more weight. Ounces or pounds. Length 32.25 inches. Buttstock cheek riser height up to 1.5 inches. 6061 aluminum core with high strength polymer panels. So this is polymer overmold. The field stock has a polymer overmold, so that it goes over the chassis, right? It encompasses the chassis and it becomes basically one unit. Whereas the XRS is a polymer paneled chassis, basically. So predominantly aluminum chassis and aluminum parts with polymer panels on top. Length to pull on the XRS is 13 inches to 15 inches. So you have a little bit more adjustment there, a little bit longer. You can go all the way out to 15-inch length pull adjustment, which is great. The max barrel diameter you can use with the XRS chassis is 1 1/4, same as the other. And that is about it. Fore-end length is 12.5 inches, which they both look to be 12.5 and 11 3/4. Let's see. 12.5 to the action here, and on the field stock it is 11.5. So there's about an inch difference in the length of the actual forearm here. Alright, so my hot take overall, I think between the two of them you have some really great options for just about any shooting scenario you could need for a precision rifle, or a field rifle, or a hunting rifle, or just your basic, you know, safe rifle for plinking and playing. Plinking and playing, I'd go with the less expensive option. Why not? They don't have this as available in as many action styles as the XRS yet. The Remington 700s, the Ruger Americans, and you can get from Brownells the Howa. It's a Brownells exclusive, and I did talk to Brownells about that. It is an exclusive. I don't know if MDT is actually going to be offering it on their catalog anytime soon for the Howa, but I would assume probably. You know, they can kind of field test stuff through Brownells and other companies like that to distributors to see what the market response is going to be before they commit to full-scale production, so it makes sense. The XRS has got way more catalog availability for action types. Let's see, we can go with, let's see here. Yeah, you've got CZ455, CZ457 model, Remington model 783, Ruger American, short action, Howa short action, Weatherby Vanguards, Savage short action and long action, Remington 700 short and long action, and the Tikka T1s and Tikka T3 short actions. So you've got a lot more options so far as action goes with the XRS, and you have a little bit more upgraded precision rifle style chassis situation going on with this thing, and a little bit, I think I would say a little more refined adjustment ability in the back here, and with the modularity and stuff like that with your QD mounts and all that good stuff. The one drawback being the magazines. The XRS seems to be, from their website and from my personal experience now, polymer dependent chassis system, so you need polymer magazines to work really well in it. You can take the metal mags and modify them, which I did with this one, but you risk ruining tolerances on your mags for other chassis styles. So if you're going to do something like that, I would say designate specific magazines for the XRS that are metal if you want to use metal. The problem with that is when you start messing with tolerances on magazines, you're going to start introducing problems potentially with feeding and function. So that's not always the best plan. My primary recommendation would be go with what the factory, the manufacturer suggests, and that is polymer magazines. Keep it simple, keep it functional. All right, so there it is. There's my hot take off the cuff on the differences between the XRS chassis and the field stock from MDT. Overall, can't go wrong with either one. Y'all be good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let the algorithm know that this is what you dig, and you love America, and you love freedom, and you want to see this kind of stuff. So, y'all be good.